This thing on? All right. Hey there. So one of the things I've seen a few people doing for this year as we get closer to our 2025 fall archery season is to give a review of their bows. And I figured I haven't shared anything on the old YouTubes for a while, so this would be a good opportunity to do that. So I've got two bows I'm really working with this year as far as what I'm going to be shooting with and hunting with. One of which is a self bow, which I will post on a separate video and talk about that and why that one's special to me and what I'm working with there. The other one here is my recurve bow. This is a Bear Archery Fred Bear Takedown, and I really like this bow. I've been shooting it a lot, especially over the last 3 or 4 months. I think about 3 months. This is the phenolic with green glass. You know, it's got the working compass in here. I'm shooting an A riser with number 3 limbs at this point. You can see this is really beautiful bow. This green glass is really just super pretty and nostalgic. And this bow pulls 50 pounds at my draw length, which are 50 pounds at 28 inches at my draw length, which is about 30.5. So I'm pulling a smidge more than 50, maybe 53, 54, or something like that. One of the reasons why I really like this bow and why I picked this one out is because when I'm traveling or traveling for a hunt, which is a couple of times a year, I've got the ease of the takedown. So Bear's got their proprietary takedown brackets in that application. It's super simple, 0 tools, and it comes apart really easily. And then I've got on here, these are the string silencers from Standing Wolf Archery. So Ron Notarangelo built those, trimmed those down. I might even trim them a little bit more, but this is their Navajo wool. And I found that they're really quiet. They're really thick and nice. I might trim them down just a little bit to ensure that they don't slow down the string or the arrow, but I'm really digging them right now. And then on here also, I've got the Selway side attachment archery quiver. This one holds 4 arrows. I got this from Drew Kohlheffer back at ETAR. It matches, right? It's got the green glass. It matches everything really nicely. Drew threw it on there in a couple of minutes at ETAR. So shout out to Selway Archery as well. And I don't know if there's a quiver that would look this clean and nice on this specific bow. Look, I know there's this desire in today's society to always pick a team. And even with archery, right? You know, it's got to be compound or traditional or not. And obviously, most of us are pretty partial to traditional archery. That's why we're doing this, and I agree. But that's not to disparage the compound guys or anything like that. But it's even the same, I noticed, in arrows. And I've talked about this on the podcast a little bit lately where, you know, folks have claimed that, you know, using carbon or aluminum arrows is not traditional, or this or that is not traditional. Shooting a certain way is not traditional, or it is. Honestly, like, let's just put all that nonsense to the side and shoot what makes us feel good and makes us feel happy. I'm an instinctive shooter. It's not because I think it's what's best. It's just because, I mean, you're looking at where I received my training right here in my backyard as far as shooting traditional. And I'm probably a pretty average shot. But, you know, at ETAR I was really fortunate to get some tutelage from Tom Klum, which really helped me with my mechanics, and in turn now has helped with some of my accuracy as well. But what it also did is increased my draw length by a solid 2 inches. I was drawing at about 28 inches. Like I'm 6'2". I was drawing at 28 inches, and now I'm drawing more at about 30 inches. So I think my arrows are doing all right, but I might have to get another set and keep them at full length, or maybe at like 31 inches, because these are cut to 29.5 at the end. So plus I've got the broadhead and everything, or field tips on the end. But I guess it's a good transition here where talk about arrows. So I'm shooting carbon arrows, and Randy Cooling has been awesome, and he introduced me to these carbon Taipans. So these, I'm shooting 400s out of this bow, which is, again, I'm probably pulling about 54 pounds or so out of this bow. I've got, it's a little dirty there, but I've got the components on the front here. On my other set of arrows, I've actually got the knot collars as well, but I wrapped these first, so I guess I missed the boat on that one. So I've got another set that I've now put the point collars and the knot collars on and then wrapped them. Silly me. I also am shooting vanes. I've never really shot vanes on traditional before, but I tried these on and I do like them so far. These are the AE traditional vanes, and I even put a little bit of a custom wrap from One Stringer, I believe I got these from, but it's just a funny little, I guess, Bow Your Podcast wrap. They're bright, they're shiny. I shouldn't lose them too easily. But again, coming out of this bow, I'm shooting these 400s cut at 29.5 inches, and they're shooting pretty well. Actually, so these are actually cut to 30.5 inches. Sorry. When my last set of arrows is cut to 29.5 inches. I bare shaft tuned these. They're cut to 30.5, and they were flying really, really well. So yeah, if you are in the market for some really great, dang near bomb-proof carbon arrows, hit up Safari Tuff. These Taipans are really great. I have not shot the Cobras or the old schools. I thought about getting a set of old schools, maybe even use them through my self bow, dare I say. I know, gasp, using carbons through a self bow. But I'm a big believer in Safari Tuff and what they're doing. Randy and Danny are awesome guys. So anything to support their business. We also do a little discount code through Safari Tuff, so we'll drop that in the comments too, so you can do that. But great arrows. This is a great setup. I've got a lot of confidence in it right now, and it's been working for me. And I'm probably never going to be one of those guys that there's this one bow I use every year after year, and that's the only thing. Half the time when I come out to shoot, I've got 4 or 5, 6 bows hanging on the wall, and whatever one calls to me that given day, it might be the one I'm shooting in my yard. But as far as the one I'm consistently shooting near every day, preparing for hunting season, the one I'm going to be carrying to the tree the most with me this year is this here Bear Archery Fred Bear Takedown. I'm really digging it. We'll move on here. I'll get a couple of shots, doing some shots with the arrows and the bow, and just so you guys can take a peek. All right, shoot at the ball target here. It's about 15 yards. I rarely hunt or shoot past 20. I reach out here to about 25 yards for practice, sometimes 30. But as we get closer to hunting season, I'm definitely trying to be laser focused at that 20 yard and end mark. So we'll see how we do. All right, get back here to about 15 yards again and get a few shots into that pig, hopefully without goofing it up too bad. Not the tightest group, but I'll take it. Okay, group one. Get together here, do one more group. Do one more group. is sure a hot one today here in North Carolina. All right, group 2 here. Take a step back, get my 15-yard mark. Ooh, high. I felt myself pull that one. Felt myself pull it. All right. Not the tightest of groups, but hey, I'll take it. All right, guys, so it's a good review of my hunting setup for 2025. Be hauling around the Fredbear Takedown. Got the A-riser, 3 limbs, pulling it probably about 54 pounds. Safari Tuff Taipan arrows, and we'll see how it pulls through for me this year. Good luck.